Hello everyone. For this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do your assignment, Introduction to Photoshop Clip Art. So first off, when you're viewing your assignment, you will see a folder in here called Clip Art. I have shared it with you. So when you click on the folder, it will bring you to a Google Drive folder that you're going to select some images from. So first thing, I'm going to go in and I'm going to choose a background. And a background is literally just a picture that fully fills the image instead of an object. So I'm going to choose the trees. And I'm going to download it. You'll go to your F drive. I'm going to have to just use my desktop, and I'm going to make a new folder called Digital Arts, or DAGD. And in here, I'm going to make a new folder, and I'm going to call it Clip Art. And this is where I'm going to save all of my pictures that I'm going to use, and where I will save the actual file of the art that I'm making. So I'm going to go into Clip Art, and I'm going to save that JPEG file. While I'm here, I'm actually going to choose a couple more things. And you can come back to this folder at any point during the project and grab more. I'm going to grab the baby, and I'm going to download this as well. I'm going to save it to that same folder, the clip art folder. And I'm going to grab the wheelbarrow. Why not? Maybe I'll put the baby in the wheelbarrow. We'll see. And then I might just maybe grab a number. So again, at any point you can come in. You need at least a background and 2 objects for this, but you're welcome to bring in more. Now, I'm going to go to either my startup menu and scroll down to find Photoshop to launch it, or I've actually already pinned it to my taskbar. So I'm going to launch the program. And like every project you'll do for this class, you're going to create new. You will go to the new document window. You'll choose print and letter size. So that 8.5 by 11 inch, 300 pixels per inch. I'm going to rename it, and I'm going to put my name, G in my grade, and I'm going to call this one clip art. That is the name of the task. I'm going to make sure it's 8.5 by 11, 300 resolution. This is where I can change it if I want it to be horizontal versus vertical. I'm going to leave it, I think, vertical, that portrait mode, and click on create. And here it is. So in our last video, I showed you a little bit about the interface, the toolbox, which is here on your left, your main menu, your options bar, and your panels that are over here on your right. So today, what we're going to do is we are going to take this plain document and we're going to put several images into it and arrange it and manipulate it a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go up to File, right, top left, File, and I'm going to Open, and I'm going to go to my folder. So you would go to your F drive, to your digital art folder, clip art, and this is where your files would be. I'm going to select them all. So I'm going to just click and drag, or you can hit Control A, and I'm going to click on Open. And you'll notice right up top here, all these little tabs popped up. So those are the other documents, and I can click on them and change which document I'm looking at. So I'm going to start with putting that background onto my blank canvas. So I can do this many different ways. One way is I can grab the move tool. I can click on my picture with my mouse, hold, and while I'm holding, drag it up to the little tab of the document that I want to go to, still holding the mouse left key, bring it over my document and let go. And now it'll drop the document into this one. Now, you'll notice it's really small. I want it to cover my whole background. So to manipulate a size or rotate it or warp it, there's a tool called transform. So there's two ways to get to it. One of them is if you go up to your main menu and you go to edit, and you'll see transform options here. Transform, you can choose scale, you can rotate, skew, distort, perspective, warp, flip it, rotate it, perspective. There's a ton of different options. Transform is where we will start. You can also right click and you can try, see if it pulls up. We are going to go to edit, transform, and we'll start with scale. So scale makes it bigger, right? I can stretch it and pull these little boxes. I can go to edit, transform, and I can do rotate. And you'll see if I zoom, if you zoom in, that there's little arrows that turn at the corners, so I can rotate it. I can also, at this point, right click and the transform options will come up. So now I can do skew. I can just pull a corner. I can do distort. All kinds of options here. I want to just stick with scale for now. And so I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger to fit that whole background. When I like what I've done, I'm going to either double click or I can click on this check bar on the options. All right, now I want to bring in the baby. And I'm going to put the baby onto that other document. So I'm going to click, hold, drag up to this little tab, bring into the canvas, and let go. Okay. Now, the baby has a box around it. I don't want the box around it. I want just the child. So now I am actually going to go to my layers panel right here on the bottom right. I'm going to actually make my adjustment smaller just so that you can sort of see things a little better. And you'll notice that I have my background, which is that white area. And then I have my picture of the leaves. And then I have the picture of the baby. I want to get rid of the white. I just want the baby. So I'm actually going to go now up to my toolbox on that left-hand side. I'm over here. And when I click on here, I can see that there's different types of selection tools. And they all are great for different things. You're actually going to click on the third one down, and you can use a quick selection tool or the magic wand tool. And I'm going to click on the white background. Now, instead of deleting the white background, I'm actually going to make it disappear and have it be transparent. So I can have it selected and I can come down here to the bottom right-hand corner and there's Add Layer Mask. When I click on this, it leaves what I had selected. And remember, I had selected the background because that was the easiest to select. So what I want to do before I add the layer mask is I actually want the baby to be selected because that's what I want to keep. There's a shortcut to do that. If I hit Control Shift I on my keyboard, it is now going to select the baby. And when I come back to add layer mask and I click on layer mask, you will see that it has gotten rid of the white background versus the baby. I'm going to see if I can make my thumbnails a little bit bigger so that you can kind of see them better. But here's the baby. Here's the box that has the layer mask on it. And you can see whatever is black is transparent. So we got rid of those white areas. I can now come back up to my toolbar, grab the Move tool with this layer selected. See how it's gray versus the other ones are dark gray? With layer 2, my baby selected, and my Move tool on, I can click and I can move that baby. I can also go up to Edit, Transform, or Free Transform, and I can now make the baby a little bit bigger. I can right click and make changes if I want something specific, and I can make that child a little bit larger or smaller or however you would like. I'm going to double click or click on the check up here to apply it. And now I'm going to do something to add to the baby. I'm going to put the baby in the wheelbarrow. So again, I'm going to grab the Move tool. I'm going to click on my picture, hold and drag, bring them to the document that I want. Let go, and here it is. Again, I do not want the white. I just want the wheelbarrow. So I'm going to come down to that magic wand tool that's right here in your toolbox. If you click and hold on the tool, it gives you more options. I'm going to click on the white. Now, it didn't get all the areas. Well, that's because there's some inside areas. If I go up to my options bar, you can see that it only has one click. I want to be able to have 2 clicks and have whatever it is I click on join that selection, add to the selection. So I'm going to click on this little box here. And I'm going to come down. I'm going to zoom in. So on my keyboard, I'm going to press the Control key and the plus key. It allows me to zoom in. I can hold the space bar key down and this hand shows up. You can see it here as well. And while I hold the space bar, I can move, click and hold and move my canvas. And now I can click on those little white areas and you'll see there's a plus on the little cursor that is allowing me to add to my selection. Now, remember, I've selected the background. I want the wheelbarrow to stay. I'm going to click on Control Shift I to invert my selection. I'm going to come back to my layer panel. It's over here. And I'm going to go down to this little icon that looks like a square with a circle in the middle. Add layer mask. And now it got rid of the box. And I can grab the Move tool, move this around. I'm going to hit Control negative, right, minus to zoom in and out. Hit Control 0 to fit to page. And now I can move this around, go up to Edit, Transform, or you'll see there's a little shortcut here. Control T. I can hit Control T on my keyboard and it will transform it as well. So now I can make it bigger and I can move it around. Now I want it to look like the baby's in the the wheelbarrow. So I'm actually gonna come, I like the size, I'm gonna apply it. I'm gonna come over here to my layer and I'm gonna move the baby, click on this layer and drag it above the wheelbarrow. And I'm gonna put the baby in the wheelbarrow. Looks like it's sort of in it. Now I need to sort of maybe change this edge here. So I can grab the brush tool over here in my toolbox and I can use the black and white to paint my picture. So I'm going to right click. I'm going to make the brush just a little bit bigger because it's super small. Hardness has to do with having a soft brush that sort of sprays and blends really gently versus a sharp edge. Hardness of 100 leaves a circle that is really crisp like that versus a 0% hardness, which leaves a soft blended brush like that. Now you'll notice you saw the black on the brush. We don't want that. We just want the baby to disappear a little bit. So I'm going to come to my layer panel right over here, and I'm going to click on my layer mask, the black and white. This looks like a silhouette of the baby that's inverted. And now with the brush, I can come in here using black. I can soften that edge. I could even change the hardness of my brush just by right clicking. I want it to be a little bit crisper. Right? I can look at my history and I can go back if I need to, if I mess up. I can also hit Control Z. That is undo. You'll also notice I have some sort of ghost shapes here. If you look closely, I have these white, whoops, don't want to get rid of the baby's hand. I have these white lines on the edge. I can take the brush using black. I can make them disappear and get rid of those edges. I have them both on the baby and I have them both on the wheelbarrow. So I'm going to go to the wheelbarrow layer, select on the layer mask. I'm going to see if I can get it off of the wheelbarrow as well. And I can then go in and add more things. I can get as silly as I would like with this picture, add several things in. But really what I want you to get comfortable with is opening images, dragging and dropping them to your new canvas, using the transform tool to size them, right? The transform tool, using the move tool to move your pictures around, and trying this layer mask, right? The layer mask that is right here on the bottom of your layers, and using that to get rid of the surrounding areas. So that's your goal. When you're done, you've played and you're starting to feel comfortable with those tools, you're going to save this. So when you go up to File, you'll go to Save As. First, you can hit Save, right? It'll save it. You want to save to your computer. There's my clip art. I am making sure you're on your F drive. I'm on my desktop. And I can see up here, digital arts, clip art. I'm in the right folder. Here's the name of the file that I've already made. And then underneath it, it'll save as type, and it's a Photoshop file. And a Photoshop file just means that it's saving all of your layers. So you can go back next class, next time, and everything will still be here and you can edit it. So I'm going to click on save and just OK. But I cannot see your file unless I open that PSD file in Photoshop. So you will always need to save your final files as two different files. So I'm going to go back to File, Save As, and save on computer. Instead of a Photoshop file, I'm going to click on this and I'm going to save it to just a JPEG, not JPEG 2000 or any of the other ones, just JPEG. And this is a file that I can open on any computer. You can open on your phone. You can send it to your grandparents and they can open on their computers because a JPEG file you can open in virtually any platform. So you will always save your final files as both that PSD file and the JPEG file. So I'm going to click on save. I want to make sure here for JPEG options that the quality is maximum and it is as large of a file as possible. I want it to be as crisp, clear, and good quality pictures so it's not pixelated or fuzzy. So keeping it at 12 maximum will keep it a good quality image. I'm going to click on OK, and that's it. Now you can go back to Google Classroom and to the assignment, and you can add the file to the assignment from your F drive. Or if you're at home, wherever it was you saved it on your home computer. And then turn in the assignment. Okay, and then that's all there is to it. So remember, this assignment is about opening Photoshop, getting comfortable with the interface, that workspace program, making a new canvas, opening, selecting, copy paste, or dragging and dropping, manipulating them with the move tool, the transform tool, and then using your layers to create something fun. Okay. Good luck. Review the video as many times as you need to until you feel comfortable, or slow it down and make your design as you're watching the video. Good luck, everyone.